March the 18th, 2026. We're supposed to have some sunshine today, so maybe that's in the forecast for a little bit later on. Today's high, much warmer, 60. That's feeling a little more like normal. Sunny skies tomorrow. We'll get to 70. Friday, nice, 78. And by the weekend, we are into the 80s, which is going to be a little warm. 82 on Saturday, 85 on Sunday. We go from snow on Monday to 85 on Sunday.
That's Alabama, baby.
That is
That
wild.
is Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I would rather have the 80s than
And
frankly,
freezing.
the 60s or the
Yeah.
freezing. Yes,
Oof.
absolutely. You know, I'm not one of those people who complains during the summer months when it's all hot. I'm kind of like, yeah, keep this coming. The longer, the better, I say. That's why I live here. 9:07 with Dixon and Vining on Talk 99.5 and Talk99.5.com. Flipsy's Furniture, 1811 Crestwood Boulevard in Irondale, and now on Highway 31 across from the Galleria, next to 2nd and Charles. Great place to get your next piece of furniture. You can buy yourself one stick of furniture. You can go out and say, all I want is a chair, and you can buy one chair. You can have it delivered. You can take it with you. Either way is fine because they got a warehouse in Pelham, or you can buy it, take it with you, however you want to do it. Or you can buy an entire room or an entire household. However you want to do it. Again, 12 months, same as cash. They got the white glove delivery. You'd be crazy not to take advantage of that. It's so good. They unbox everything. They put stuff together if that's what needs. One low price. I couldn't believe how inexpensive it was. I was like, I feel like you guys may have undercharged me for this, but I'm not going to say that out loud. Really very reasonably priced to take care of all of that for you, and they do such a good job. And when I say designer furniture at wholesale prices, that's exactly what it means. It's not a catchy little slogan they came up with from out of nowhere. It really is designer furniture, and it really is lower priced than the other guys for the same stuff. Go ahead and shop around, but don't buy a thing till you walk through the door at Flipsy's Furniture, either 1811 Crestwood Boulevard in Irondale or across the street from the Galleria next to 2nd and Charles in beautiful Hoover. 9:08 our time. And got a couple of things here that are worthy of our time and attention. One is Joe Kent. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Joe Kent was the head of the NCTC, the National Counterterrorism Center. This is something that was developed after 9/11, right? It was duplicative.
Right.
We already had counterterrorism
Yep.
centers, you know?
Mm-hmm. Took it to another level.
But this was like, oh, let's have another one.
Yep.
Why not? And Joe Kent, a retired Green Beret, has resigned from his post, saying that there was no imminent threat to the United States from Tehran. The U.S. instead became involved in the conflict due to pressure from Israel. They pressured. Let me ask you something. Do you believe Donald Trump could be pressured into doing anything he didn't
No.
want to do? Yeah,
No.
me neither.
No.
That's why I look at this guy right off the bat. I'm like, okay, I'm suspicious about this. You dig a little deeper and you find out that this guy was apparently one of the biggest leakers in government. That basically, if you gave him a piece of information, you could count on it showing up in the Washington Post the next day, the New York Times, ABC, NBC, CBS, all the usual suspects. This guy was kind of the king of leaking.
That's kind of anti-American.
It was so well known that Donald Trump and company, when they said, let's do some research on this Iran thing and see what we want to do, they said, well, I'll call Joe. I said, no, Joe's not going to be part of this. And they gave him not one scrap of information leading up to this. They did not discuss any of it with him. Like I said, there's already another counterterrorism organization that we have in the United States. I believe it's part of the national intelligence, the CIA or one of those things, for sure. We've had it for a long time. They just, for some reason after 9/11, it was like, more is better. Let's have two of
Well,
everything.
We felt like then we need
Yeah.
to double, or triple, quadruple, whatever we need to do to keep ourselves safe and protected. So if it took that, okay. But I think we've reached a point where you probably don't need somebody like Joe Kent.
No. In fact, there was a guy who apparently worked with him who posted to X essentially good riddance to bad rubbish. This guy spent a lot of his time strutting around, trying to claim accolades, doing little to no work. You really couldn't point in all the time that he's been at the CTC, the NCTC. You couldn't really point to anything that he had done.
Who's taking up space.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hate that.
Yeah, he basically, left in a grand like those people who go on Facebook and go, I can't take this anymore. I'm leaving. And you go, just go away. You don't have to announce that to everybody. Just go. If you're really principled and you really have a problem with this war in
You
Iran,
wouldn't say anything.
go
Yeah.
ahead and leave.
Just leave. Right.
But this, I'm going to call a press conference and explain I'm leaving because of this, that, and the other thing. When now, it was only going to be a matter of literally hours before we found out you weren't briefed on any of this.
Yeah, so he didn't know. And the fact that he said that Iran posed no imminent threat.
Right.
I think the fact that they wouldn't even come to the table to discuss things with Donald Trump and some on his team about what was going on and no nukes and all of that was a very, and we knew already intelligence that what they had. Iran posed an imminent threat, and there was no need to wait to get right to the edge of the cliff before they were going to do something. We went a little more aggressive this time, and I think it was the right move on Donald Trump's part. And I think this guy is pooching at his lip. He's mad, and that's why he has left.
Nobody
Joe
checked
Kent.
with me.
That's right.
I wasn't in the
That's
middle
what
of
this
it.
is.
And I didn't get to leak any of this information to the press.
Thank goodness.
If you wanted to play football at USC and you wanted to wear number 11, you are out of luck. Matt Leinart wore number 11, and that number was retired. Matt Leinart was responsible for at least one national championship, right? Would have been another one, but they lost that year to Texas. Leinart only lost 2 games in his entire career at USC, and one of them was that Texas national championship game. So they retired the number 11. He says he regularly gets boosters and athletic department members reaching out to him going, hey, listen, we got this great prospect coming in. He wants to be number 11. Can we unretire your number? And he's like, no, you can't. No. In this day and age of the transfer portal, we unretire the number and someone wears it for a year and then it's unretired. I mean, it's out there now.
That's right.
We're not doing that. He goes, no. He goes, the only person who's ever going to wear this number would be my son Cody, who's playing for SMU right now if he goes to play for USC, or one of my other 2 sons if they go to USC and play football. They can wear number 11. Nobody else can wear number 11 ever. Makes sense to me.
Sure, it does.
In this day and age, like really, if the number is what's going to keep you from playing for USC, then we really didn't watch it.
You don't need to be going there.
That's ridiculous.
That is. Well, when you decide to retire a number, make sure that you're serious about retiring it. It means you no longer will ever use that number again. Don't come back to the player and say, we'd like to unretire your number.
No.
It's a little insulting, You
wouldn't do that to Michael Jordan. By the way, we may have lost the baseball world championship to Venezuela, but on the way there, we beat Canada.
Sweet.
Again.
Yeah, that's nice.
And when Team USA para-Olympic team played hockey and won the gold, you know who they beat? Canada. That's right. This is
sweet, isn't it?
Basically, it's a great way to stick it in the eye of America's hat. I'm so glad that we get to stick it to them on a regular basis because I'm so tired of, like I say, you're not on X as much as I am, but there's all these Canadians who just like.
Why you say that? I'm on X all the time.
Are you really?
Yes.
Oh, I mean,
I'm on it daily.
I mean, the Canadians are just so horribly anti-Trump and anti-America now. They're just like, forget about Trump. It's just all Americans are terrible and it's just awful, whatever. And I'm like, then how come all of you live within 100 miles of our border? If you hate us so much, move further north.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right,
and
you
stop
can't.
coming to the U.S. to get your health care things taken care of.
You are a freaking parasite that sucks off the blood of the American people and the American dollar, and that is frankly the only way you exist. And up until now, we've been okay with it, and then you start mouthing off, and it's like, I don't think so. A little gratitude would be appreciated here. There was a story the other day. I wish I could remember where I read it. I read so much of this stuff. About a woman who had a chest pains. It was an appendix. She had a swollen appendix. They think it was appendicitis, not sure. She goes to her regular doctor. Doctor goes, to the emergency room with you. Now, she goes to the emergency room, spends 2 hours waiting to be triaged, gets triaged, sits in the waiting room for 8 more hours.
No.
Wow. 8 more hours with potentially a bursting appendix. before she finally gets in to see any kind of doctor whatsoever. She said, it was bad for me, but there was an old lady that came in with a gushing head wound, and she had to sit there for 4 hours just holding a towel on her head.
So no longer an emergency? All
Well,
of these things are not emergencies?
this is Canada. This is what happens when you make healthcare free.
Yeah. Not
Everybody
good.
shows up for every reason all the time, and there's no possible, and they say there's a huge doctor shortage. Well, there's a huge doctor shortage because you're not paying them enough. There's no real incentive to be a great doctor
Or they've
in
left Canada
Canada.
and come to the U.S. So they're
Sure.
like, I'm going to the U.S.
because
to
you can make money here.
practice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. Um,
Hmm.
There was another post from somebody who talked about just on the note of doctors in general, said, last November, my doctor announced to me that he was going to become a concierge doctor and that for just $5,000, I could be part of the group. Of course, I'd have to pay more if I got sick. Well, what is the $5,000? Well, access.
Yeah, that's right. It gets
You're
you
part of a small
access.
group. And he said, I said, no, thanks. He said, they just called me in March. Are you sure? Like, that's a bad sign. Like, you were so excited about leaving your practice and becoming a concierge doctor. Now, I got a better story because a year before last, my doctor did the same thing. Said, I'm going to go become a concierge doctor. Here's the form. Fill this out. You can be part of the group. And I looked at it and went, $2,000? I don't think so. I don't, you're a good doctor,
Well,
but
and
I'm
again,
gonna
I
pass.
think it depends upon where you are. Even in the U.S., that there are some people that have difficulty
sure.
if they're sick,
Absolutely.
getting their own doctor,
Yeah,
getting in to see him,
I agree.
and they pay that
Mhm.
extra fee so they have access to
If
that doctor.
that is where you need to be, then
Yeah.
good for you. But I can tell you that they approached me in November, they approached me again in February, they approached me again in April, and they
Yeah.
approached me again in June.
No,
and I was
no,
like,
no, and no.
I have a sneaking suspicion that you're not filling up that concierge practice as fast as you thought you were going to.
Mhm.
This seemed like a good idea to begin with. And now you're like, still got a lot of openings here. I wonder if you guys will. Okay. 9:18 with Dixon and Vining. Stick around. Steve's turn comes up next. 924 Dixon Dividing, Talk 99.5, Talk995.com. Without further ado, what is ado and why would we want further of it? Here he is.
It's Steve's turn.
Well, looks like the National Basketball Association is set to expand out by 2 more teams. Vote expected by the 30 current NBA owners coming up next week. The 2 cities that they've already targeted for the 2 teams, Las Vegas, which after having been ignored by all sports leagues pretty much forever, suddenly is a hot spot. You got the Las Vegas Golden Knights, who joined as a recent NHL expansion team. Got the Raiders. Those nomads started in Oakland, then moved to Los Angeles, then moved back to Oakland. They continued to be nomads by moving to Vegas when that city built them a shiny new dome stadium. Speaking of nomads, they're going to be joined by the Major League Baseball's version of that, the Athletics. Whenever their sister retractable roof stadium gets finished for them, they'll be there. In the meantime, they go from Philadelphia, where they started, then they went to Kansas City, then to Oakland. They currently reside in a minor league baseball park in Sacramento. Yay. So this expansion, if approved, means that a city that just a decade ago, 15 maybe, didn't have a single pro sports franchise. No, I don't count the WNBA. They will now have one in each of the 4 major stick and ball sports. The other actually is quite familiar with the NBA, or used to be anyway. They were the home of the Seattle Supersonics. The same team that moved to the Oklahoma City area became the Thunder, giving that city its first pro sports franchise. As for Seattle, they have baseball's Mariners, the Super Bowl champion Seahawks, the recent NHL addition, the Kraken. But now it appears they're going to get another chance at the NBA if, again, the 30 existing owners agree. There is one thing that might change that, because the owners could say, no. You're going to have 2/3 of the owners approve this, and right now they're about 1/30th the league split, now becomes 1/32nd, and they may not care for that. Formula One, ring a bell. Second thing that they would need to be done is a realignment. If they do get approved, you'd have to take one team currently playing in the Western Division, move it over to the Eastern Division. 3 most likely candidates, Minnesota, New Orleans, or Memphis. But there's one thing that is set. Presumably, the vote to approve adding Las Vegas and Seattle, the Thunder have stated that they are willing to give the Seattle franchise, assuming that they choose to revive the name Supersonics, their history back. And at that point in time, the history of the Thunder would not include the time spent in the upper Northwest, but only from the time that they spent in Oklahoma City. It's kind of unusual, but it's not unprecedented. The NFL saw the same thing happen when the original Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore, became the Ravens. They were considered a new franchise at that time, so all the statistics racked up by the old Browns became attributed to the new expansion Brown franchise. Should this be approved, there would be an expansion draft. The 2 teams would be added to the regular draft, and they would begin play, they say, in the 2028-2029 season. 32 teams, which would match the National Football League and the National Hockey League in the number of total teams.
Wow.
Interesting.
By the way, buy-in, $7 to $10 billion.
Is that all?
$7 to $10 billion.
What a deal.
Yeesh.
7 to 10 billion
That's a lot of
dollars.
money.
Billion dollars.
Billion. It's $1 billion. Man, oh man. I love the concept. I love NBA basketball. It's a lot of fun to watch live. There's always something happening. If you've never been to an NBA game, you're missing out because it is one of the most exciting sporting events you can watch. It's fast-paced. It's fun. And I think it's great that these places are going to get teams. And I love the idea of the Supersonics coming back because that's kind of a bit of my youth as well,
Yeah.
It's just difficult to imagine Seattle without a basketball team, and here it's been quite a while now. I also love the fact that the Thunder is willing to give that up. I love the story of that the New Orleans, what they were, the Pelicans?
Pelicans.
Yeah, were they the Pelicans back then too, though?
When they moved from Charlotte to New Orleans to begin with, they retained the name Hornets.
They were the Hornets for a minute,
And then Charlotte got another franchise, and they named them the Bobcats before New Orleans said, you know what, we're going to change our name to something that's a little more New Orleans-like. So they went with Pelicans, which was a name of an old franchise that had been there.
Right.
And Charlotte went, hey, we'll take our old name back.
All right, we'll go ahead and be the Hornets again. But at the same time, you had Katrina, and you had the Pelicans having to move up to Oklahoma City because there was just a mess, and there was a real question about whether or not Oklahoma City could handle an NBA team. It's not much bigger than Birmingham, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So it's like, well, I don't really think, well, we'll just play here for a season until everything straightens out, and then we'll go back
They
down there. Well,
showed out.
people in Oklahoma City were so happy to have something there like that it was like, this is a no-brainer. We got to put a team here. Let's do it.
Well,
and they did.
And contrast that, and I heard this from Eli Gold not that long ago, heard him doing an interview, because he came down here, and one of his main reasons to come down here was he became the voice of the Birmingham Bulls, the
Yep.
original one in
That's
the World
right.
Hockey League.
Yep.
And the Bulls were slated to join the NHL. And the owner said no because while everybody in Birmingham showed up for a weekend game, if they played a weekday game,
There wasn't many people
stands
there.
were empty.
Yeah.
Yep.
he's like, we're not going to be able to succeed doing that.
True story. Sad but true. 9:30 with Dixon and Vining on Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com. We've got a ton of food news. Like, it is crazy how much food news there is out there right now. And you know us. We're always going to keep you apprised of the latest and the greatest and the newest and the most calorie counting, most involved, fattening, disgusting,
It's fun, isn't it?
clogging of your arteries
Yeah.
food available.
We did shrimp already. Why not?
Exactly.
A little bit more of that.
Time to move on to the least healthy options.
All right.
Yeah. You lost the love and feeling. Three versions of this song. This one, of course, the Righteous Brothers, the original, truly wonderful song. Later done by Hall & Oates, not as good. And The Firm, which I think is the definitive version. That was the, Paul Rogers and Jimmy Page singing. Perfect. 9:36 with Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com.
All right, folks, for those of you that have been thinking about making some changes at your home, it is about springtime, and here's what we would love to do. Maybe open up some of those spaces, maybe have some light coming into the back part of your home. Maybe you've got a beautiful front area of your home, only you can't really see it because of the current windows and doors that you have. How about premium quality replacement windows and doors to get that light coming into your home? And of course, also, you're putting better quality windows and doors in your home when you use EcoView windows and doors. Call Brian and Becky Jackson today. They're here in Birmingham at 205-407-8161. Now, here's the thing. You may already have an idea of what it is you want to do, what you want to replace your current windows and doors with. Or if you aren't sure about what that is and you'd like some suggestions and some help, well, that's where Brian and Becky Jackson come in, because they're extremely knowledgeable about everything when it comes to premium quality replacement windows and doors. Double hung windows, fiberglass doors, awning windows, bay windows, patio doors if you need those. This is a great time of the year to get that done. So get the free estimate. Becky is probably going to be the one you talk with today, 205-407-8161. Tell her that we sent you, and ask her for that free estimate and get those new windows and doors in now. EcoView Windows and Doors, again, a local company that you're going to be dealing with. Lifetime warranty comes with those new windows and doors, too. Here's the number again, 407-8161, 407-8161.
9:38, and Wendy's is offering free fries this week.
Ah.
But there's a catch.
Isn't there
the
always?
app. It's the app.
Of course. Not just the app, but you have to buy something else as well.
So
Doesn't
they're
matter
not
what
really free.
I mean, buy a Frosty and get the free fries, and then dip the free fries in the Frosty you paid for.
Junior Burger or something like that?
Yeah, sure.
Mini burger?
Well, as long as you buy something, you can get the free fries.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have
they
to
charge you
download
for
the
a
app.
water these days?
Probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least
remember-
a cup.
Yeah, a friend of mine, I don't think he's a friend of mine anymore. He was for a while. He would go to this place in Trussville. I think it was a barbecue place. He and his wife would go to this place all the time. They loved it. They raved about it. They just, this is such a great place. I love this place so much. And then one day they asked for 2 cups of water, like they always do, and they got rung up for 50 cents, 25 cents a cup. And he's like, what? What is this? I'm like, well, it's 25 cents a cup for water nowadays. We just changed the, now we're charging for it. I'm never coming back here again. I was like, really? Really? That was the deal breaker. A place you love, a place you went at least once a week, every week for the past God knows how many years. But boy, that 50 cents, that was enough to break it for you, huh? I mean, when does reason fly out the window?
Right there.
Apparently.
What about the time you charge for a cup?
Yeah. I mean, wow, how dare you? 25
Or now
cents
charging
for a
for
cup of-
refills. People
Yeah.
aren't very happy about that
Oh,
either.
yeah, they're getting you. But look,
Like,
we
you're
all
charging me
know-
$2.50 for the drink
Yeah.
as it is, which is already bad. That should probably come with a refill.
I'd
but
like to
there's
think
some
the
places
refill-
they don't.
You are talking about some charged water, a little sugar, and some base. And when you get right down to it, it's the least expensive thing. It's the biggest money maker that these fast food restaurants have.
Could you tell
Biggest
that
moneymaker.
to some of the soft drink makers that are in the grocery stores like we talked about
Yeah,
earlier today?
they are making money off of you and I.
Man.
It's crazy. But that is different. I mean, there's bottling involved
Yeah.
and shipping involved. And here you're dealing with basically these are plastic containers, plastic bladders that are full of the basic. And then you've
The
got
syrup.
the syrup. And you can get the soda water locally. So it's, it's a lot less expensive to do that through a fountain drink. Nonetheless, yeah, I don't understand the whole. I love this place. You changed one tiny thing. I hate this place. Never coming back. Of course, what's going on with Wendy's, and we've discussed this before, the thing that's going on is they want their app on your phone, and they want it there so badly they're willing to give you free fries, I guess, of any size, to get you to put it on there. And the reason is people with the app on their phone are X% more likely to go to Wendy's. Where do you want to go for lunch? I don't know. Let me see what I have on my phone. Oh, I got a Wendy's app. I'll go ahead. We'll order there. I also have a McDonald's app and a Taco Bell app and a
Chick-fil-A
Domino's app and a
app.
Chick-fil-A. I mean, you got all these other apps. But they just want to make sure they're in that mix. Because if they're not, you're going to order from one of these other places and they're going to get left out. So they're like, how about we give you free fries to put the app in your phone? How about I don't
Okay.
care? How about it's not that important to me?
Well, for some, it'd be like, it's free fries
Mm.
from Wendy's. I'll take it.
Speaking of Wendy's, they have got a new March Madness Dunks menu.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. By that, I mean they got a menu that involves fries and Frosties. It's not that big a deal, really. When you get
Dunks,
right down to it,
March
you're just,
Madness.
the other thing that you could dunk is chicken nuggets, right? You could dunk chicken nuggets both in sauce or in a Frosty.
Yeah.
I
That would
would
be
think.
delicious.
Yeah.
Cool the nugget off of it. It's like burning hot.
And then they've got a weird game that they're playing that involves prizes that, is kind of like it's a sweepstakes that involves a bracket they break the cardinal rule of these contests, which is don't make it too complex.
Yeah, if you do that,
Yeah.
people are out.
Yeah. We learned that in radio.
No,
you
real
can't make it
quick.
too complex and you can't make it last too long.
Unless it's a huge prize, people will tend to jump through a few more hoops.
Yeah.
But if it's a free thing of fries or a free Frosty or something like that, you better make it easy.
It better be easy. Sonic has a brand new drink out, the strawberry horchata cream slush.
Mm.
It's got shades of Old Mexico in it. It's soft serve with cinnamon spiced horchata syrup and real strawberries. Horchata is a light and sweet beverage made of rice, water, cinnamon, and sugar, typically found at street stalls and Tex-Mex restaurants.
Hmm.
And then they throw strawberries in there as well.
Sounds pretty good.
You think about it, though. Rice, water, cinnamon, and sugar. That's the actual horchata. That's what it is. It's another crappy, we don't have anything. We're just making do with what we have here. It's like a churro.
you never
You're
know.
talking about you love the
Yeah, I
churro.
like
I'm
the
just going to
churro.
yeah, churro is poor food.
Mm-mm.
Churro
But
is
it's good.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
It's garbage. Um,
It's sweet and it's delicious.
Go get yourself one of these strawberry horchatas over at Sonic then and see if you like that too. Taco Bell is adding new chicken items. This is weird because we just talked about the number of new items they were adding the other day. It's like
Yeah,
a
it's like-
dozen new items.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, let's go more.
Yeah. So now they've decided to add just a couple more here. 2 new chicken items starting March 19th, a limited time crispy chicken crunch wrap slider
Mm.
and a permanent cantina chicken rolled quesadilla.
What's
a
not
news
to
flash.
love about that?
If it's rolled, it's not a quesadilla.
No, it's not. But the
Mm.
flavor of it is like a quesadilla. So they're trying to describe that.
I think it all tastes the same when you get right down to it, doesn't it?
Kind of does.
Mm.
Yummy cheese, gooiness,
Mm.
little hot pocket there, whatever you want to call it.
Chicken is a real playground for spices and sauces, which is where Taco Bell thrives, says Liz Matthews, Taco Bell's global chief food innovation officer. I want to be that person. We start with what people already crave and push it somewhere new, like down their throats. There's a lot of chicken that's finding its way onto these menus, including McDonald's, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, and Popeyes coming up with new ways to serve chicken all the time. And, I've always been a bigger fan of the chicken stuff at Taco Bell than the beef stuff. I don't know why, but taco meat, just regular beef, doesn't do much for me.
Yeah. Not the steak, just the ground beef you're
I
talking
love the
about.
steak.
I like the steak.
You like
I
the
love a
steak,
steak quesadilla.
I can do the steak all day.
Mhm.
But the regular ground beef, I'm just like, meh.
Not so much.
If I'm going to have ground beef, I'd just as soon have a burger. Thank you. But yeah, I love the chicken items, especially the cantina chicken, which is the stuff that's diced rather than shredded.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. Uncrustables is making its full lineup fridge friendly.
Fridge friendly.
Fridge friendly.
Ah.
What
Was
does
there one
that
that wasn't?
Instead
Well,
of in
yeah.
the freezer. 'cause
Well,
that's usually where they're at.
Yeah, because these things will survive for a certain amount of time, 5 days, in the refrigerator. What you do is you take it out of the freezer,
You put it in
and you take like 2 or 3 of these things, or however many, and you put them in the fridge.
and
And
they're ready to eat.
as long as you eat them within 5 days, once they defrost, and they'll defrost in the fridge, but as long as you eat them within 5 days, they'll be fine, which is pretty cool because up until now, you've had to take them out of the freezer, set them on the counter, let them defrost, eat them right then. The fridge doesn't work for them, apparently. I don't know what
well,
they were doing.
And with the Uncrustables for kids,
Mhm.
parents would put them in their lunch early in the morning,
Right.
and by the time it was 12 o'clock, that thing was perfect.
Defrosted.
It was still kind of cool,
Yeah.
but not frozen. So
You know what time I had to eat lunch when I was in 7th grade? 10:30 in
that's
the morning.
ridiculous.
Yeah. They
Because
had
by the
Yeah.
time you get out of school, you are just famished.
they had 3 lunch periods of 45 minutes each. And mine was from 10:30 to
That's-
11:15.
mm,
Next one was from 11:15 to noon, and the next one was from noon to 12:45.
you want that middle one.
We got out at 2:30.
Mm.
That was the end of our day. And yeah, you're right. By the time 2:30 came around, you were
You're
just
like, where's
like
my snack?
you were ready to rip someone's head off, man. Mm. They're making the entire portfolio fridge friendly, including the protein boosted flavors Up and Apple and Bright Eyed Berry, which all sound delicious.
Yum.
Maybe I'll try one now.
Love those Uncrustables.
The Devil Wears Prada 2 is coming out. I watched the original not too long ago because I felt like I was missing out on something. I felt like, I see these cultural references to it, and I'm like, I don't get that because I've never seen the movie. Well, I love Anne Hathaway and Meryl Streep and Stanley Tucci especially. And Emily Blunt is in it. There's a lot of people to like in this movie and a lot of people to hate in this movie. And it really is a great movie. I mean, it's if you know the story of Anna Wintour is a publisher in New York City. She was responsible for some of the most impressive fashion magazines that have ever come down the line during the heyday of fashion magazines.
Right.
And she was apparently a complete
God.
B.I.H.
Big time.
I mean, the worst person in the world to work for. And so somebody went, who had worked for her, went and wrote this novelized version of working for her called The Devil Wears Prada, and they came up with a different name for her and everything, but basically kind
It
of
was
gave you the
about
feeling
her,
of the
yeah.
experience. Great film, funny as hell.
It is good.
And now 2 is coming out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go see that. I think I'm going to go see that. They now have, you know how they're coming up with all these cool popcorn containers?
Mm-hmm.
They had the one for Now You See Me where you could make the popcorn disappear. They had one for Jurassic Park that was like a dinosaur head. They had one for a space movie. I don't remember what it was. It was a real space helmet. It was crazy.
This
These
one
things are getting out of control.
this one's pretty cool.
It's
Maybe not for the guys.
No, I would get it. It's a
But
purse.
it's great.
It's a red purse. I love it.
To go along with your gay adjacent.
Exactly.
Little
Yeah.
handbag with 2 handles on the top, and
Yep.
it's got the high heel shoe on the side.
And it's loaded down with popcorn.
That's really a smart marketing.
They
idea.
also have a pair of sunglasses that you can get as part of the package that have the little shoe
Oh yeah.
in on the horn rims, and they're the glasses basically
So I
that
wonder what this costs.
Meryl Streep wears.
I don't see a price.
Way too much. But
Yeah.
look,
Who cares?
you're already paying $24 for popcorn at the theater anyway, right?
Right.
I mean, it's insane.
That'll
when
be
you
a
go in there.
$100 outing right there.
I'll take a large popcorn. That'll be $24, please.
And the
Just,
purse
it's
too.
just the one. I only want the
Yeah.
one. Yeah, 24.
I bet it's
please.
more than that.
Oh, I'm sure. This has
Seriously.
got to be over $30.
Yeah.
gotta be.
I would think so.
It's got to be, and I'm okay with that. You know,
Mm.
if
It's
only
different.
if I had someone to give the purse to, that would be better.
Well,
That's.
save it. Holidays around the corner. Like you
It's-
said, leave Christmas out till October.
Is anybody else disturbed by the fact that Punch the Monkey got a girlfriend before me? Is that disturbing to anybody else?
You'll be just fine.
Seems like
Richard.
it's most disturbing
something,
to you.
Something tells me you'll be just fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Work Trucks is downtown, 2324 3rd Avenue South. If you're looking for a truck for your business, these are the folks you want to talk to. Why? Because they scour the country. They bring them in from all over. They put them through a 125-point inspection. And then they put them on the lot at great low prices. You're really missing out if you don't go and shop at least online. Work Trucks with an X, LLC.com. Work Trucks with an X, LLC.com. You can also find them live and in person at 2324 3rd Avenue South. You can trade, you can finance, you can get an extended warranty. It's all there in one location at the Southeast #1 pre-owned work truck dealer. Work Trucks with an X, LLC.com. Downtown, 2324 3rd Avenue South, where they're all about trucks. 9:56, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Thanks to everybody who texted in a photo of their dogs. We appreciate them all, especially Eli's 12th birthday. We have 4 dogs in party hats all looking at the camera. Well done. Bravo.
That's hard to do.
A lot of people sending out more than one dog, 2 dogs in a picture or whatever. I love them all. I don't have the time to respond to every one of them, but they're all fantastic. Max says, my concierge is $110 a month. Well, now you're just bragging.
That's pretty good.
David says, I believe that the fall of our country began when the Price is Right began hiring male models. I agree wholeheartedly. Corey says, Lloyd Peoples hates puppies.
What?
That was a Milt Fleener.
Oh, Milt.
Milt Fleener hates puppies. I love puppies. McGee, best way to get free fries is to have the person you're with pick up the tab. Oh, you're that guy, McGee. You're the moocher.
McGee.
Gotcha. Tracy says, a Sonic's new Philly cheesesteak sandwich is just awful.
Awful.
Okay,
Thank
man.
you for the heads up.
Audra says Taco Bell chicken strips are some of the best chicken strips I've ever had from a fast food restaurant recently, or maybe I'm just sick of Chick-fil-A. That could be it.
Maybe.
When I saw a sign on Taco Bell that said chicken strips for $2, I thought, oh, that chicken has hit hard times. At Lucas Theater in Albertville, we say, I can only imagine 2, and you buy a large bucket of popcorn for $20 and brought it each time you see a movie for the remainder of the year and get it filled for $4.50. Yeah, there are places that do that. I don't see enough movies to make that worthwhile, really, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Craig the Wineman. Wow, Richard the Cop. Conrad
Seems kinda
and
mean,
Delilah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
2 more
Picking
pictures
on
of
him.
dogs. Conrad and Delilah. We appreciate that. Thank you. And here's Bob. You mentioned dogs. People want to send you pictures of their dogs, and I
Yeah,
want to
we
see
love
them.
that.
All right,
Thank
let's
you.
do this.
Dixon and Vining's question of the day.
It is, what movie had the biggest plot twist ever, and it still blows your mind to think about it, Steve West?
The fact that in Scream, the original one, they put Drew Barrymore in the original,
Yeah.
in the initial scene, and then killed her.
I loved that. That was fantastic.
It was.
Watching that, I was just like, wait, they
Like, wow,
just-
Drew Barrymore is
they-
going to be. Wait, they
Huh?
killed her.
What? That was
Spoiler
great.
alert, by the way.
What about you, Valerie?
I said A Beautiful Mind.
Beautiful Mind, good one.
Yes.
Yeah, very
I
good,
love that
strong.
movie.
I'm going to go with No Way Out. Woo,
Mm.
baby. Still
was a
can't
good
get
one,
over
yeah.
that.
Pretty good.
Still can't get over that one. The Village, says Kenny. Basic with John Travolta. The Sixth Sense. If you couldn't figure out The Sixth Sense by about 2/3 of the way through it, then
But it was still good. If you could just,
right,
even though you knew just
Perfectly
going,
okay.
Oh, that's pretty good.
yeah. Knives Out was pretty wild. Yeah, The Game,
That was pretty
great
good.
one. Love The Game. The Life of David Gale. Okay. Usual Suspects. Yeah, like that one. The movie Seven. That was great.
Mhm.
Lon says Debbie Does Dallas because that's what he always says.
Of course.
Anything by M. Night Shyamalan, I don't think that's true. All right, that's it for us. Back tomorrow, dark and early, 6 a.m. Talk at you then. Skippy comes your way next. Bye-bye
Bye.
now.